I saw a video of you recently, and this was I'd seen another video using the same stuff, and I wonder if this is how you came about the idea. Ice blasting the engine. Now, anyone that's not come across ice blasting, go and Google some ice blasting. Go and watch Scott's video doing his engine. There's loads of other videos of people doing various parts of cars. This is seems like a magic process.
When I started the BBI, I was totally unaware of ice blasting as well. I hadn't heard of it. The project started to progress and take on its own path, and part of that is obviously when I saved the car, when I finally got it, what I promised everybody was, look, you're all going to be part of this process with me. We are going to go on this adventure and see where we can get with this car. And so that's why all of these videos, I'm trying to share that whole process and the full restoration of this car. And so a lot of it is driven by my audience and their comments. And I noticed that when we opened that engine lid and it was covered with, 13, 14 years of just British weather's grime of summers and then winters, and on the Ferrari engine lid you've got all the slats, so everything just goes through and just sat on the top of the engine block. They all said there are these ice blasting videos, and it's basically this magic thing that will make your engine look like it was brand new from factory. So I'm like, let's do that. And the added bonus with it is that it doesn't cause any mess. Unlike sandblasting or bead blasting, it's not going to get into all the pores and work its way inside the engine. It is just dry ice. So I'm like, well, I'll give that a go. And then did a bit of research. There is a few companies in the US that are doing it in the automotive scene, but there was no one in the UK. So the only people I could find were Karcher that actually make a dry ice product. So I was like, okay. So I emailed the CEO of Karcher, and I got an email back, surprisingly. He said, yep, seen your videos. We'll send our guys and help you out. So nice. That's how that became. Well, there was a slight deviation to that, because normally, and that's why the car is not currently at my house, is that filming here in my little car garage is quite difficult because I can't make too much noise. I'm, in a residential neighborhood. And I said to the guy, just before we go down that route, can you just tell me how loud one of these things is? And he's like, well, we need an industrial compressor to run this. Like, whoa. I said, that's going to get shut down in about 2 or 3 minutes if we start filming that at my house, right? So let me see if I can figure out a solution. So I spoke to a friend who's got a carrozzeria body shop in Maidenhead, and he said, look, get the car here. We can do the dry ice in here, and then we can do, the paintwork on the car when we get to that stage. So that's how we've got to where we are at the moment. Yeah, it's just like this journey. Yeah, they're just ups and downs of it, and yeah, the car is now over there at the moment, and it's quite fortunate because it has a lift, and it makes my job a lot easier than trying to do it in a little garage.
Yeah, that is quite nice. The actual process of dry ice blasting, does it remove any metal?
So that car was the problem with my car was it is the absolute extreme, because it had sat there for so long and all this stuff had just kind of embedded itself in that engine block. Normally, if you look at some other videos on dry ice, there's a few popular ones with Porsches. Actually, if you look at, they dry ice blast the bottom of a Porsche that hasn't been cleaned in years and years and years, and it comes up spectacular. Mine, because it had literally sat there and it was just so extreme, it did a great job, but it wasn't as amazing as all my comments had told me it was going to be. So I had to take it an extra step. But the process itself is literally 3mm dry ice little pellets. It's fired at high speed to whatever surface it is. So in my case, it was the engine, and mainly I tried to focus on the engine block. Yeah. And it just disintegrates on impact, taking with it all of the grime and all of the dirt that's there, and then it just evaporates.
That's pretty sick.
It's great because it hardly makes any mess. If you think about sandblasting and you blast a load of sand, you've got a massive cleanup job, and that's going to get itself everywhere. This stuff, I was literally flabbergasted. Where's it all gone?
Yeah.
It was little tiny. It took me 2 minutes to sweep it all up after, and that was just some of the dirt that was on my engine.